I'd just like to make this quick recording here to, I suppose, assess why it is that I quite actively, as much as I can given the number of missing episodes, prefer Patrick Troughton's second Doctor to William Hartnell's first Doctor. Troughton's second Doctor appears to take a more active participation in the storylines, and there's more opportunities for him to do so because the storylines tend to be oriented around science fiction themes, and so the Doctor, being the most knowledgeable character around, is most apt to deal with whatever's going on. Now, sometimes in the first Doctor's run, Ian Chesterton, being a science teacher, could often he could, frail William Hartnell, William Russell could do some of the active work, which otherwise the younger Troughton might be doing in his own run. Jamie McCrimmon is not really up to trying to solve scientific queries. He's more just a loyal muscle for the Doctor. Victoria is not particularly scientifically, but in the context of the 19th century she is, but Zoe, however, offers, Zoe's quite a strong companion. She offers great scientific knowledge and advice and opinions for the Doctor. And of course, aside from how Troughton portrayed the Doctor, a more animated and just charismatic, likeable, watchable figure, there's the tone of the storylines. Obviously they were science-oriented, but also they were horror/monster-oriented. And typically, as I said before, Monster of the Week is an underrated vessel for science fiction. It can be hokey and goofy and reliant on a cheap special effect, potentially. However, what you also have is a script which shows characters attempting to outwit an extraterrestrial or otherwise, some sort of monster menace. And it can be really riveting and engaging stuff. Some of the best material in Star Trek is this. We can think back to the times when Picard's crew were trying to communicate with some creature which was destroying millions of life forms without realizing it, and they were trying to find some way in order to, prevent this from happening, of being a crystalline entity or some sort of alien space pod, who knows. And the black and white photography is a great venue for this action to all take place in, I feel. I guess you could say it evokes the photographic traditions of the Universal horror films of the 1930s, and I guess some of them in the 40s as well, to be fair. This black and white take on science fiction appears to occupy sometimes a different dimension than the one we might recognize as our own in colour. They take place in some sort of abstracted, nightmarish realization, execution of reality, composed and compacted into these archetypes which embody the stuff of our dreams. Whether it's the Doctor up against the Cybermen in the tombs, underneath the surface of another planet, this ice world of Talos, or up against the same Cybermen, slightly different design, walking through the streets of London as though we're the product of a terrified BBC Cinema Verite crew. Really great stuff. Just wish more of it was available. I think we all do. That really goes without saying, frankly.